Hello everyone. Today I am starting chapter 9 of class 12th, coordination compounds. This is the first part and in which we studied about general introduction of coordination compounds and their IUPAC nomenclature. Now learning objectives of this part are: by the end of this part you will be able to define coordination complexes, define and explain all the terms used in coordination complexes, that is ligand, central metal atom, coordination number, oxidation number, etc. You will be able to identify different types of ligands like neutral ligands, positive ligands, negative ligands, and differentiate between double salts and coordination compounds. You will be able to understand the rules for writing IUPAC names for coordination complexes. Now, first of all, we are starting with what is a coordination compound. Now, coordination compounds are also known as coordination complexes or coordination entities. Now, why they are called coordination compounds? Because there are coordinate bonds in these compounds. Now, mostly ions of transition metals formed coordination compounds. Why? Because they have empty d orbitals, which can take lone pair of electrons from the donor atoms or called ligands. So, this type of bond in which one atom or a group of atom give the lone pair to the other atom is called coordinate bond, and that is why these compounds are coordination compounds. Now, apart from transition metals, few other metals are also involved in forming coordination complexes. For example, magnesium. It is the element present in the complex chlorophyll and it belongs to group 2. Some examples of coordination complexes are K4FeCN6, that is potassium hexacyanoferrate, and similarly hexaamine cobalt chloride. These are the examples of coordination compounds. Now the next topic is what is the difference between double salt and coordination compounds. So first we should know what is a double salt. You know what is a salt? It is formed by the combination of cation and anion, and it is called simple salt because only one cation and one anion is present in the salt. Now what are double salt? Double salt is actually formed by the combination of two or more simple salts for in equimolar ratio. Remember this thing, equimolar ratio, the salt should be present. Now for example, more salt, it is a double salt and the formula is FeSO4 NH4 whole twice SO4 dot 6H2O. Now what is the quality of the double salt is when we dissolve it in water, it dissociate to give all the ions in the water. For example, if we dissolve more salt in water, it will give Fe plus 2 SO4 minus 2 NH4 plus all the ions, and if you test these ions, then they will the solution will give test for all the ions. Now coordination compounds on the other hand do not dissociate completely. The complex ion is retained intact. That for example, FeCN6 minus 4, if dissolved in water, it will not dissociate into Fe ion and cyanide ion, and it will not give the test of iron ion and cyanide ion. So let us take some differences between double salts and complex compounds, that is coordination compound. The first difference is double salt is usually contain two simple salts in equimolar proportion. Now complex compound may be in equimolar proportion or may not. Now double salt exists only in solid state because when we dissolve it in water, they dissociate into their ions. But complex compound are stable in their aqueous solution also, so in solid state as well as in aqueous solution. Now double salts are ionic compounds and there is no coordinate bond present in it. Now complex compound may be ionic or it may be non-ionic, but there is always a coordinate bonds present in it. Now double salts are, the properties of the double salts are same as their constituent compounds, but the properties of the coordination compound are different from its constituents. Now in double salt, the metal ions show only their normal valency. And here in complex compounds, the complex coordination compound, the metal ions satisfy two types of valency, that is primary valency and secondary valency, which we will study further in next part. Now double salt loses their identity in the solution and complex compounds retain their identity in their aqueous solutions also. Now I'm taking some terms which we are using in this chapter. The first is coordination complex. Now the entity which is enclosed in the square bracket and contain metal ion or metal atom and the ligands or the donor atoms. This entity is called coordination complex or coordination sphere or coordination entity. For example, CuNH3 whole 4 plus 2. Here, this species is enclosed in the square bracket, so it is called coordination complex. Here, copper is metal ion and the NH3 whole 4 NH4 ligands of ammonia is acts as ligand. Now, types of complexes. There are three types of complexes. First is cationic complexes. Complexes which are having positive charge on them. For example, CuNH3 whole 6 plus 3. Here plus 3 charge, that is positive charge. Similarly, hexacyanonickel plus 2. So it is again having plus charge. Now, anionic complexes. Complexes in which complex ion has a negative charge on it. For example, FeCN6 minus 3. So there is a minus 3 charge, so it is anionic complex. Similarly, hexachlorido platinate ion. It is again having minus 2 charge, so it is anionic complex. Some complexes are neutral. That means there is no charge on them. For example, nickel tetracarbonyl. Remember one thing, all the metal carbonyls are neutral in nature. And second example is triamine trichlorido cobalt. This is again a neutral complex. Now central atom or central atom or ion. Now in the coordination complex, metal atom to which the ligands are attached with coordinate bond is called central atom or central ion. For example, in CuNH3 whole 6 plus 3, Cu plus 2 is plus 3 is the central metal ion. Now central metal ions are also regarded as Lewis acid because they readily accept the lone pair donated by the ligands. Now the next term is ligands or electron donor species. Ligands are the electron donor molecules or ions which may be either neutral or anionic, and sometimes it may be cationic. Now they are linked to the central atom with coordinate bond or dative bond. Means they are having lone pair of electrons with them which they can donate to the central metal atom. Now ligands are acts as Lewis base as they give electron pair to the metal and form coordinate bond. Now ligands are also termed as dentate. That means teeth. Now why is it called so? Because our like tongue surrounded by the teeth, similarly the ligand surrounds the central metal atom in the coordination sphere. That is why they are also known as dentate. Now coming to the types of ligands. There are different types of ligands depending upon the number of donor atoms present in it. Now first is monodentate or unidentate ligands. Ligands having only one donor atom. For example, water, NH, either here in water, oxygen is the donor atom. In ammonia, nitrogen is the donor atom. It is C6H5 whole thrice P means triphenylphosphine. Phosphorus is the donor atom. OH minus, CN minus, X minus. X minus means halogens, chloride, bromide, fluoride, iodide. And acetate ion, NO3 minus ion, NO2 minus and ONO minus. They all are having only one donor atom. That is why they are called monodentate ligands. Now the second is bidentate ligands. As the name suggests, they have two donor sites. For example, first see in the figure, oxalate ion. Two oxygen ions atoms are donor atoms, so it is bidentate ligand. Similarly, ethane 1,2-diamine. In short, we write it En, and two nitrogen atom are donor atoms. Now the next is glycinate ion. Glycine is the amino acid, and glycinate ion derived from that acid. Now here nitrogen and oxygen are the donor atoms. Now sulfate ions, two oxygen atom acts as donor atom. They all are bidentate ligand because they all are having two donor atoms. Next is polydentate ligand. Ligands with more than two donor atoms is termed as polydentate or multidentate ligands. Now see the figure. I am taking example one by one. The first is tridentate ligand, means three donor atoms. Example is diethylene triamine, or in short we write it diene, D-I-E-N. Now here you can see three nitrogen atoms act as donor atom. That is why it is tridentate ligand. Now second example is triethylene tetraamine. In short, we write it triene, T-R-I-E-N. Now here we have 4 nitrogen atom as a donor atom, so it is a tetradentate ligand. Now the third example is ethylene diamine triacetate. Look here, 3 acetate ions are there. That is why it is called triacetate. Now, in this complex, we have 5 donor atoms, 2 nitrogen and 3 oxygen donor atoms. So it is a pentadentate ligand. Now the next is ethylene diamine tetraacetate ion. This is very, very important, children. Learn this name, and in short it is known as EDTA. Now here we see that ethylene diamine, all the 4 hydrogen from amine are displaced by the acetate ion. That is why it is called tetraacetate. Now here 2 nitrogen atom and 4 oxygen atoms are act as donor atom. So it is known as hexadentate ligands. Now the next term is chelation or denticity. If the ligand with 2 or more electron donor groups positioned in such a way that they form a 5 or 6 membered ring with central metal ion. That means they form a cage-like structure. That is why these ligands are called chelating agents. Now the ring formed is called chelate, and chelation may be bidentate chelation, tridentate chelation or tetradentate chelation. Now I am taking first example, dichloroethylene diamine platinum. Now here chelate is formed, 5-membered ring is formed. Now the second is, this is bidentate chelation. Now the second is PTCl diene. Now here it is tetradentate chelation because tridentate chelation because 3 donor sites are there. Now one more term is there, flexidentate ligands. Now as the name suggests, they have flexibility, means they may act as tridentate or tetradentate or pentadentate. Now, for example, EDTA, actually it is a hexadentate ligand in nature, but in some cases it may act as pentadentate or tetradentate ligand. So there is flexibility, that is why it is known as flexidentate ligand. Similarly, sulfate. Sulfate is actually a bidentate ligand, but it may act as monodentate ligand as well. Now, ambidentate ligand. Ambidentate ligands are actually the monodentate ligand, but they have 2 donor atoms. But at a time, only one can be donated. Remember one thing, bidentate ligand have 2 donor atoms and both donate their electron pair at a time. That is why they are called bidentate ligand. Ambidentate ligand are always monodentate, means at a time only one coordinate bond is formed, but donor atom may be 2. So depending upon which atom donate the electrons, they may change their name may be changed. For example, nitro may, if nitrogen is the donor atom, then it be termed as nitro, and if it is ONO, that is O is the donor atom, then we called it nitrito, or we also pronounce that nitrito N and nitrito O. If N is the donor atom, then we say nitrito N, and if O is the donor atom, we called it nitrito O. Similarly, in cyanide, Cn, C may donate the atom or N may donate the electron pair, or C may donate the electron pair. Now, if C is the donor atom, then we called it cyano, or if the nitrogen is the donor atom, we called it isocyano, or cyanido C and cyanido N. Now the next is thiocyanato, SCN. Here S may be donor atom or nitrogen may be donor atom. If S is the donor atom, then we say thiocyanato, and if N is the donor atom, we called it isothiocyanato. Now the next is coordination number. The number of ligands attached with the, or donor atoms attached with the ligands, or in more appropriate manner you can say the number of coordinate bonds formed by the ligand is termed as coordination number. Now I am taking example in the figure, AgCN whole twice, 2Cn minus, 2 monodentate ligand means 2 donor sites, so coordination number is 2. FeCO whole 5, so 5 monodentate ligand, 5 carbonyl ligand, so coordination number is 5. Now COCN whole 5, again 5 monodentate ligand, so it is coordination number is 5. Now in next, 3 ammonia molecule and 3 Cl minus ion are acts as ligand, so coordination number is 6. Now see the last one, COEN whole thrice plus 3. Now coordination number is 6. Now you may say that ligands are 3, then why the coordination number is 6? Because ethylene diamine is a bidentate ligand. So one ligand has 2 donor sites, means one ligand formed 2 coordination bond. So total 6 coordination bonds are formed. That is why its coordination number is 6. Now the second term is coordination sphere or ionization sphere. Now see the figure. The entity enclosed in the square bracket is called coordination sphere or complex entity. And the outside species is called ionization sphere. Here Cl2 is the ionization sphere. Now in coordination sphere, the central metal atom is present like nickel. Ligands are present, that NH3, and 6 ligands are present and all the ligands are monodentate. So the coordination number is 6. Now, when coordination compounds are dissolved in water, only the ionization sphere dissociate to give the ion, and the coordination complex, that is the entity which is enclosed in the square bracket, remain intact. For example, in K4 FeCN6, FeCN6 minus 4 does not dissociate into Fe plus 2 and Cn minus. Similarly, in the another example, CONH3 whole 6 Cl3, Cl minus release in the solution, but CONH3 whole 6 remain intact. Now the next is homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes. If all the ligands attached with the central metal atoms are same, then the complexes are called homoleptic complexes. And if two or more than two types of ligands are present with metal atom, then it is called heteroleptic ligands. For example, CuNH3 whole 4, all the 4 ammonia ligands are there, so it is homoleptic. Similarly, if it is like two ligands are present, like COBr2CN whole twice plus, so bromine and cyanide, both two ligands are present, that is why they are called heteroleptic ligands. Now the next is calculation of oxidation number of metal atom or ion. This is very important. Now what is the oxidation number? First, the oxidation number of the central atom is the complex of the central metal atom of the complex entity is the net charge which it is expected to carry when all the ligands are removed from it. Now how we calculate it? For example, I am taking the first complex FeCN6 minus 3. Now we have to find out the oxidation number of Fe. So we take it as X. Now there are 6 Cn ligands and Cn is having charge minus 1. So X minus 6 is equal to, because the complex carry minus 3 charge, so it is equal to minus 3. So the charge X is equal to plus 3. So this is the oxidation state of iron. Similarly, in copper, X, NH3 is a neutral ligand. So Cu plus 0 is equal to plus 2. So Cu is having plus 2 charge. Now again, X minus 2 for 2Cn is equal to minus 1. So Ag is having plus 1 oxidation number. Now nickel tetracarbonyl, Co is the neutral ligand. So 0 charge. So X plus 0 is equal to 0. That is why the oxidation state of nickel is 0. Remember one thing, in all the metal carbonyls, metals are having 0 oxidation state. Now next is PtCl4 minus 2. Here 4Cl minus ions, so X minus 4 is equal to minus 2. So the charge on platinum or oxidation number of platinum is plus 2. Now the next is X minus 2 for 2 bromine ion and minus 2 for 2 Cn minus ion is equal to plus 1. So X is equal to plus 5. So in this way we can calculate the oxidation number of central metal atom. Now the next is charge on complex ion. Now complex ion may be having positive charge, or it may having negative charge, or it may having neutral charge. Now how we calculate the charge? The charge carried by the complex ion is actually the algebraic sum of the charges carried by the central metal and the ligand attached to it. For example, CuNH3 whole 4 plus 2. Here the copper is having plus 2 charge, ammonia is having 0 charge, that is why the complex is having plus 2 charge and it is a positive complex. Now similarly AgCN2 minus, here Ag is having plus 1 charge, Cn minus 2 charge, so overall charge is minus 1, so it is anionic complex. Now there are some neutral complexes also. For example, CONH3 whole thrice Cl3. Here cobalt is having plus 3 charge, Cl is having minus 3 charge. So the overall charge is 0. Hence the complex is having no charge and it is called neutral complex. Now next is IUPAC nomenclature of coordination compound. Now there are some rules for the naming. The first rule is In the ionic complex, the order of naming is cation if present, that is ionization sphere. Then species, it may be ionization sphere or it may be complex sphere. Then species enclosed in the coordination entity and followed by the anions. Now the second is the ligands are arranged and named in alphabetic order before the name of central metal atom or ion. For example, if amine and chlorido both are present, then amine comes first as A comes first in the alphabetic order. Now the naming of ligands. The name of anionic, neutral and neutral ligands are written as follows as in the figure. Now for Cl we use name chlorido. For Br we use name bromido. For fluorine, fluorido, iodo. For Cn, cyanido. For OH, hydroxo or hydroxido. For NO2 we use the name nitrato. For for NO3 we use the term nitrato. For NO2 we use the term nitrito N because nitrogen is the donor atom. And for ONO we use the term nitrito O as O is the donor atom. For SCN we use the name thiocyanato S. And for NCS we use the name thiocyanato N or isothiocyanato. Now for CO3 minus 2 we use the names carbonato. For SO4 2 minus we use the term sulfato. For C2O4 minus 2 it is oxalato. Now ClO4 minus is perchlorato. ClO3 minus is chlorato. Now we are coming to the neutral ligands. They named as it is. Like for NS3 we use the name term amine. For H2O we use aqua. For CO we use carbonyl. For En we use ethylene diamine. For CS3NH2 we use methylamine. For CS3CH2NH2 we use ethylamine. For NO we use nitrosyl. And for PPS3 we use triphenylphosphine. Now the next rule is numerical prefixes to indicate the number of ligands. If there are several ligands of the same type, the prefixes like di, tri, tetra, penta and hexa are used to indicate the number of ligands. For example, if there are 4 ammonia molecule as ligand, then we write it tetraamine. Now remember one thing, A of tetra and A for amine, both A remain intact in the name. Now there is a point to be noted that if the name of the ligand already include a specific number, for example diamine mein already di is present, so we cannot use di twice. So we use the term bis for di, tris for tri, tetrakis for 4 and so on for writing their IUPAC name. Now in such case the name of the ligand is placed in the bracket. For example bis, then in bracket ethane 1,2-diamine. Now some other example like methylamine. If we put di here, if 2 methylamine ligands are present and if we put di, then it will form a different compound, that is dimethylamine. So in this case also we use the term bis. Now the next and very important is ending of names. How we end the names. Now positive and neutral complexes have no special ending, like we write copper, silver, iron and so on. But if the complex is anionic, that means maybe the charge on the complex is anionic or the positive counter ion is present in the ionization sphere. In this case, we use suffix ate at the end. For example, for lead we use plumbate, for tin stannate, for iron ferrate, for gold aurate, for silver argentate, for copper cuprate, for zinc zincate, for cobalt cobaltate, for platinum platinate. I am putting a star, that means it is a very important point. Children make so much mistake in this thing. Now the next is ambidentate ligand. Now what are ambidentate ligand? I already told you. Unidentate ligands with more than one coordinating atom, but at a time only one coordinating atom attached with the central metal atom. Now they are indicated by different names or by placing the symbol of the donor atom attached. For example, first example is ammonium hexathiocyanato S chromate third. Now I may use thiocyanato because SCN is the sulfur is the donor atom, or I can write it thiocyanato S. right? Thiocyanate S or simply thiocyanate. Now in second case NCS, nitrogen is the donor atom. So I may write it thiocyanate N or isothiocyanate. So in this way we name the ambidentate ligand. Now some important point in writing the IUPAC name of a coordination compounds. The first and most important thing is that the name of the complex compound should not start with the capital letter. The second point is that the full name of the complex ion should be written as one word without any gap. Third is in the ionic complexes, there should be a gap between the name of the counter ion and the complex entity. The full name of the non-ionic species should be written as one word without any gap. Now the fifth point is very important. It is regarding oxidation number of central metal atom. The oxidation number of central metal atom is represented in bracket in Roman numeral after the name of the metal, and calculation of oxidation number we already studied. Now if there is any charge on the complex, then we write ion at the end of the name. For example, AgNH3 whole twice plus. So there is a plus charge. That is why we write the name diamine silver 1 ion. Now the name started with a small letter. Second thing, there is no gap in between the complete name, and then in bracket after silver we write the oxidation state of silver in Roman numeral, and then we write ion because there is +1 charge on the complex. Now the second example is FeH2O whole twice Cl4 minus. So diaqua tetrachloridoferrate third ion. Why ATE8? Because it is the negative complex. So we end it with 8, and ion because there is negative charge on it. Now I am taking examples of some complexes and their IUPAC name. Now one thing noted here, that the names which are started with capital, you started with small because it is a printing mistake here. Now first I am taking complex cation. First is CONH3 whole 6 Cl3. In complex entity there are 6 ligand ammonia. So we write the start it with, because there is no counter positive ion, so we start it with the complex entity. So hexaamine cobalt, third is the oxidation number of cobalt, then chloride. Now second, here charge is there, so in the end we write the ion, and chloride and ammonia, two ligands are present, and amine first comes first in the alphabetic order, so we write the name like pentaamine chlorido cobalt third ion. Why ion? Because it is the charge is present on the complex. Now the next is amine and sulfate are present, and amine comes first, so we write it tetraamine sulfato cobalt third nitrate, and similarly we write the name of the other complex cations. Now coming to the complex anion. In complex anion, maybe the negative charge on the complex present or positive counter ion is present. So here in all the example, positive counter ions are present. So in first, lithium is the counter ion, so we start the name with lithium. Now for hydrogen, this ligand is H minus, so we use the word hydrido. Now lithium tetrahydridoaluminate. Now why aluminate? Because it is anionic complex. That is why we end it with ATE8. Aluminate third. Third is the oxidation state of aluminium. Now the second is sodium tetrachloridozincate. Second. This point should be noted that if the complex is anion or the positive counter ion is present, then we end the name with 8, and the Latin name of the metal ion should be used. So now the third is organic groups. Now in organic groups there are like suppose first example is PT, PY. PY means pyridine whole 4, and PTCl4. Now this is double complex compound. Now first is tetrapyridine platinum then tetrachloridoplatinum. Now how we find out the oxidation state? Here we take the average oxidation state. In first complex, PT is having 0 oxidation state, and in second PT is having 4 oxidation state. So the average is 2. Hence we write 2 oxidation state in both the cases. Now bridging groups and hydrates are not in the NCERT syllabus, so you leave it. Hope you like the video. If you like it, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel for upcoming videos. Thank you.